A lot of games don't always age well. Mechanics feel clunky, outdated, or just not as fun as we remember. But every now and then, you come across a game that still holds up to today's standards. So in this video, we're looking at 12 games that still feel just as good today, or at least put up a good fight. We start this list with a game I had a lot of fun with back in the days. It's called Sleeping Dogs. It's one of those rare games that somehow looks and plays like it could have been released pretty recently, despite launching way back in 2012. You step into the shoes of Wei Shen, an undercover cop infiltrating the Sun on Yi Triad in Hong Kong, as he balances the tension between his police duties and criminal activities. This conflict is set against the backdrop of Hong Kong's neon-soaked streets, which really come alive with the help of authentic cultural details and a seamless mix of English and Cantonese dialogue. When you're not advancing the story missions, you'll find yourself mastering a combat system that feels like a perfect blend of Batman Arkham's fighting and brutal environmental takedowns. Want to drive a thug's head into a table saw or take them out with a brutal combo? It's up to you, as there's no shortage of ways to get the job done. The driving mechanics strike that sweet spot between arcade fun and challenge, and with a cool hijack system that lets you leap from your vehicle mid-chase to take down enemies. And if you're in the mood for something different, there's a bunch of fun side activities, from betting on cockfights to belting out tunes in karaoke bars, to name a few. But Hong Kong itself is the true star here, and while not overwhelmingly large, it's dense with activities that actually serve a purpose. The unique progression system lets you earn points in 3 paths: Triad, Cop, and Face. This encourages you to try out different playstyles and unlocking perks along the way, such as brutal combat techniques or enhanced social influence. Despite critical acclaim, Sleeping Dogs never achieved the commercial success that it deserves, making it an underrated classic that many gamers may have overlooked. Just give this one a try, and you'll wonder why more games haven't aged this well. Next in line, we have Far Cry 3, which sits comfortably in the top tier of games that have aged darn well. When you boot it up today, you might not guess this tropical adventure dropped back in 2012. The story follows Jason Brody, a spoiled Californian vacationer who finds himself and his friends captured by pirates on a mysterious island. After escaping, Jason transforms from a terrified tourist into something far more dangerous, as he fights to rescue his friends and navigate the complex politics of the Rakyat resistance against the unhinged pirate leader Vaz. And speaking of Vaz, this guy is a huge reason why Far Cry 3 still feels so modern. Played by Michael Mando, his unhinged charisma and the now iconic definition of insanity monologue set a new standard for gaming villains. His presence is so strong that even today, Far Cry games struggles to create an antagonist as compelling, and that says a lot. The island itself feels alive in ways that still impress. You'll find yourself hunting Komodo dragons one minute and sneaking through enemy outposts the next, and the first-person immersion still holds up remarkably well. The skill tree system is also pretty unique, as the tattoos on Jason's arm expand with each upgrade you unlock. Far Cry 3 isn't afraid to acknowledge its own absurdity, with characters actually questioning Jason's rapid transformation into a killing machine. This self-awareness, combined with capturing outposts, hunting for upgrades, and scaling radio towers, created a formula so perfect that Ubisoft has been iterating on it ever since. So jump into Rook Islands today, and you'll find an experience that still feels as fresh and engaging as it did over a decade ago. Next up, we have Deus Ex Human Revolution. And in a world where so many aging games struggle to keep up with the times, Deus Ex stands tall as a cyberpunk classic, with its visual style and gameplay still holding up impressively well even today. You step into the shoes of Adam Jensen, a security specialist who's turned into an augmented powerhouse after a brutal attack on Sarif Industries. And what follows is a world where human enhancements have sparked new class divides and raised a bunch of complex moral questions. But what I really like about Human Revolution is its commitment to player choice. Want to sneak through the entire game without being seen, or maybe you'd rather bust through walls and send vending machines flying at your enemies? It's totally up to you. The augmentation system lets you build Jensen the way you want, unlocking abilities that complement your playstyle, never really forcing you down a set path. Conversations have meaning here, thanks to the social enhancement AUG that lets you read psychological profiles and pick the perfect dialogue option. And the world itself is reactive, Whether you're using stealth or brute force, the enemy AI adapts, making every move you make feel important. Every corner hides a secret, every interaction carries meaning. Deus Ex Human Revolution doesn't just hold up after all these years, it proves how timeless good design can be, respecting the player's intelligence and rewarding creative choices at every turn.
I know you're still here!
We barrel roll and crash into the next game on the list, Borderlands 2. It's one of those games that still holds up crazy well and doesn't really feel that old. Jumping back into Pandora today feels just as fresh as it did when Gearbox first unleashed this looter-shooter back in 2012. Here you play as a vault hunter, barely surviving a betrayal on the chaotic frontier world. After surviving the antagonist Handsome Jack's attempt to kill you, you're guided by a mysterious guardian angel to join the resistance in Sanctuary and stop Jack before he unleashes an ancient alien weapon. The gameplay loop remains addictively compelling even now. You'll constantly hunt for increasingly ridiculous procedurally generated weapons with wildly different stats and elemental effects. The character classes offer varied playstyles from face-locking as Maya to deploying turrets as Axton, dual-wielding as Salvador, or stealthing as Zero. One of Borderlands 2's biggest strengths is its humor, which draws heavy influence from internet meme culture. Characters like Tiny Tina deliver lines that perfectly capture the game's offbeat and irrelevant tone. But it's not just the jokes that land, there's an emotional depth beneath the chaos, with Handsome Jack standing out as one of gaming's most compelling villains, equal parts charming and utterly despicable. The side missions deliver some of the best and weird content, like fighting off ninja-like bandits who just happen to live in sewers and eat pizza. So make sure to take a trip into Pandora and see why Borderlands 2 is still as thrilling today. Its formula has been copied many times, but few have matched its unique appeal. Alright, next up is Uncharted 3. Fire this one up in 2025, and you'll be blown away by how well it still holds up today. Released back in 2011, this third entry in Drake's adventures feels as fresh and exciting as ever. The story digs deep into Nathan Drake's past, with his complex relationship with Sully taking the center stage. The game ain't holding back on cool action sequences either, from hanging on for dear life as a cargo plane spirals out of control, to escaping a collapsing mansion. These aren't just cinematic moments you watch, you're actively playing them. And even compared to modern games, Uncharted 3 still delivers some of the most thrilling set pieces in gaming history. The gameplay offers tight gunplay and smooth melee combat system. But what really makes Uncharted 3 great is the attention to detail. The environments feel alive. For example, sand sticks to Drake's clothes as he travels through the desert, and water droplets realistically drip off him when he emerges from water. Even the way Drake reaches out to walls as he moves through tight spaces adds a level of realism that was way ahead of its time. On top of that, the game's fluid transitions between gameplay and cutscenes still impress today, making it one of the best examples of blending narrative and action. Uncharted 3 is pure artistry and attention to detail. It's not just about raw technical power, it's about making something that stands the test of time. Next up, we have Ryse, Son of Rome. You might expect a title from 2013 to start creaking at the joints, but it still looks pretty freaking awesome. The story throws you into the blood-soaked sandals of Marius Titus, a Roman soldier hellbent on revenge. And while the plot plays out like a grand historical epic, it's really the game's cinematic style that steals the show. The environments are well crafted, with everything from towering Roman architecture to war-torn battlefields. Combat is where Ryse walks the fine line between repetition and rhythm, and somehow it lands on the right side of things. The fights rely on a mix of brutal melee strikes, perfectly timed counters, and execution moves that are more spectacle than strategy. Every hit feels heavy, and the slow-motion executions add to the game's cinematic appeal. You'd think this would get old fast, but the weighty feel of each swing and the sheer cinematic flair keep it from feeling stale. It's not deep, but it doesn't need to be, it just needs to be satisfying, and it absolutely is. Games from this era often show their seams over time, but Ryse still carries itself like a champion. It's a game that knows exactly what it wants to be, a visual powerhouse with combat that just feels good, and it delivers on that without overcomplicating things. It might not have the most complex combat system, but as a short, visually striking action game, it still delivers a fun and well-balanced experience. Moving on with the next game, Serious Sam 3. This third installment doesn't waste time pretending to be something it's not. It throws you into a war zone, throws you a shotgun, and just expects you to keep moving. The setup is as classic as ever. Earth is on the brink of collapse, aliens are invading, and Sam Stone is the only one standing between humanity and oblivion. But where other games try to evolve, this one stays true to its roots, proving that pure unfiltered chaos never goes out of style. Shotguns blast through enemies, miniguns tear through crowds, and explosions send bodies flying as chaos unfolds around you on the battlefield. The world also reacts to the ongoing chaos. Ancient ruins shake from explosions, pillars crash to the ground, and walls crumble as the battlefield falls apart, all while you deal with almost endless waves of relentless enemies. The Egyptian ruins, vast deserts, and massive battlefields may not be the most advanced visuals, but they still feel alive, thanks to the scale of destruction and chaos unfolding at every moment. And while enemies pour in by the dozens, Sam keeps cracking one-liners in true Duke Nukem style. It's worth repeating that the crazy volume of enemies on screen at once is something you don't see much anymore, and it turns every fight into a frantic, pulse-pounding battle for survival. If mindless action ever had an expiration date, Serious Sam 3 proves it's nowhere in sight. Next up, we have Remember Me, which got released in 2013. This cyberpunk action-adventure still looks and plays like something ahead of its time. You follow Nilan, a memory hunter navigating the streets of Neo-Paris in 2084, where memories are currency and the powerful Memorize Corporation controls them all. Stripped of her own past, she fights to reclaim her identity, and along the way, you get to infiltrate the minds of others, altering their memories to reshape reality itself. Instead of just punching and platforming your way through the world, even though there's plenty of that, you step inside people's heads, rewinding and tweaking key details to create chain reactions that change everything. It's a little bit puzzle and a little bit psychological warfare, and each remix shifts characters' perceptions, often leading to unexpected outcomes. The physical combat also has its own unique twist. The Combo Lab lets you design your own attack sequences, mixing up damage, healing, or cooldown effects to match your playstyle. It's a fun way to add some strategy into the mix that gives you room to experiment. Sadly, Remember Me didn't get the attention it truly deserved when it first launched. Overshadowed by larger titles, it flew under the radar for many, despite its innovative mechanics. If you missed it back in 2013, now's your chance to experience it.
I can't stop. Fight that, don't get dance all night, you do.
We move on to Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. This isn't just another chapter in the Assassin's Creed series, it's a venture into pirate lore that reimagined the franchise formula. You play as Edward Kenway, a pirate captain navigating the Caribbean during the 18th century. The story blends Kenway's personal quest for wealth with the larger conflict between assassins and Templars, offering a fresh take on the pirate world. The standout feature is the naval combat system. Instead of just running around on land, you command the ship named Jackdaw, engaging in sea battles that require strategy and quick thinking. The thrill of combat on the open ocean, coupled with the ship's upgrade system, really makes you feel like you're living the pirate life. This adds a whole new layer to the gameplay, making it feel less like a typical Assassin's Creed game. The open-world design invites exploration, with side activities like hunting legendary sea creatures and uncovering hidden treasures. The game also explored the democratic aspects of pirate crews. Captains were elected, decisions were made collectively, and life at sea wasn't just about plunder. It adds depth to the story, giving you a more nuanced view of piracy beyond the typical pirate cliches. Black Flag continues to feel like a fresh wind rather than dated. Its seamless blend of land and sea exploration created a formula that still feels interesting today.
Hi, sugar. Take anything you like.
Next up, we follow Delsin Rowe in the game infamous Second Son, as his journey unfolds in a Seattle where superhumans known as conduits are hunted by the Department of Unified Protection, or DUP. As Delsin discovers his own powers, he becomes a beacon of hope for oppressed conduits, challenging the DUP's strict control with a rebellious attitude that fits the superhero story well. The game explores his evolution from a small-town troublemaker to a figure that can shake up the entire city. The combat system is lively and varied, allowing Delsin to use different elemental powers like smoke, neon, and video. This variety lets you change your approach during fights. You can escape as smoke when surrounded by multiple enemies, pick them off with precise neon attacks, or use video powers to slip behind enemy lines and take them out from unexpected angles. Seattle serves as your playground, with its wet streets and famous landmarks ready to be climbed and explored. You dash between rooftops with neon speed or slip through vents as smoke, creating a movement system that still feels very good today. The art style, along with good lighting, creates a world that balances comic book style with urban reality. Although the good or evil choices lack the depth that players now expect, Second Son shows how strong design choices can overcome technical limitations, delivering a game that's still fun to play years after its release.
Powers.
Okay, fine. And drain his powers.
I'm telling you, it's gonna work.
All right, they've just found a body at Fifth and Briar. Go check it out. But promise me you'll be inconspicuous? Yeah.
Next up is Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor, where you're transported to a harsh and gritty world where Talion, a Gondorian ranger, and his family fall victim to the ruthless assault of Sauron's forces. Resurrected and bound to the wraith of an elven lord, Talion sets out on a path of vengeance, one that weaves his personal loss into the larger, war-torn world of Tolkien's universe. At the heart of the game lies the revolutionary Nemesis system. This groundbreaking mechanic creates a living, breathing hierarchy of orc captains and war chiefs who not only remember your encounters, but evolve because of them. Die to a nameless grunt and you'll watch him rise through the ranks, gaining a name, personality, and even scars from your previous battles. These orcs taunt you with personalized dialogue about past encounters, turning random enemies into memorable villains in your own unique story. Gameplay blends fluid combat with tactical choices, letting you decide how to approach each encounter. If you prefer the Assassin style, you can strike from the shadows for quick and efficient kills. Or if you prefer a more direct approach, the melee combat delivers fast-paced battles, where well-timed counters and brutal executions keep you in control even when outnumbered. But the real strategic depth comes from manipulating the enemy hierarchy. By dominating orc captains, you can turn them into spies, send them to betray their leaders, or incite power struggles that weaken Sauron's army from within. So it's easy to say that Shadow of Mordor was ahead of its time, and it still feels that way today. And finally, we arrive at the last game on this list, Dragon Age Origins. Here, you enter the kingdom of Ferelden, a land under attack by the monstrous creatures called Darkspawn that will stop at nothing to spread corruption and chaos across the land. You belong to a legendary order, the Grey Wardens, and it's your job to stop the worst threats to the world. The Blight is now spreading, a force that will consume everything in its path, and it's up to you to rally allies, face unimaginable horrors, and put an end to it before it's too late. Along your journey, you gather a diverse group of companions, each with their own backstory and personal struggles that add layers to the larger narrative. This connection is deepened by the companion approval system, which was pioneered in this game and has influenced countless RPGs to come. But your party members respond to more than just the big choices. They're shaped by the way you talk to them, the gifts you give, and how you handle the people around you. Every interaction counts, creating deeper connections and sometimes consequences. Combat-wise, it mixes real-time action with a layer of tactical depth, where you can pause mid-fight to issue commands, letting you plan out the perfect strategy when things get intense. Dragon Age Origins remains not just playable, but genuinely compelling by today's standards. A true classic that continues to influence RPG design more than a decade after its release. Alright, that's all I had for today's video. Some games lose their edge over time, but these ones, in my honest opinion, still hold up today. Do you agree with this list, or did your favorite games miss the cut? Let me know in the comments, and if you liked this, you know what to do.